Hey, Andre, did you know that the numbers are out on the compact, full-size, and heavy-duty truck segments, and we can now pick, based on facts, the winners and losers. In other words, which trucks sold the most and which trucks sold the least. So, ladies and gentlemen, take your bets right now, because in this video, what are we going to do, Andre?
Well, we're going to discuss for 2022 for United States. We are going to start with the compact segment, the Maverick and the Santa Cruz. We're going to show you all the numbers. I love numbers, you know me, right? So we're going to start with the compacts, go to mid-size trucks, and then go to full-size heavy duties as well.
And there are some surprises here. So if you're, a fan of Ford, Chevy, Ram, Honda, Nissan, Toyota, we're going to give you those numbers too. But I'm going to make a prediction before you show that, Ian. I'm going to make a prediction that the Maverick outsold the Santa Cruz. Now, this is the new compact size segment, so this goes in below mid-size trucks. So we're only looking at 2 trucks in the segment, but I'm going to say Maverick outsold Santa Cruz.
You are correct, sir.
That was an easy one.
But
Right?
by how much?
Let's see.
Twice approximately. So the Santa Cruz for the full year sold about 36,480 according to their numbers, and Maverick 74,370.
So Maverick is up 460%.
Well, so this percentage is a little bit skewed because last year there were partial years, right?
Yes.
They were just coming on sale halfway through. Now we have a full year of full sales. And look, I mean, the segment together is already sizable.
110,000.
Yeah.
We're going to use the insider term units.
Unit.
As opposed to trucks, so that all you pros out there listening to us know that we know what we're talking about. So it's a pretty big segment when you're talking 100,000 cars, and I'm going to bang this drum again, but, there are a lot of European manufacturers out there that have trucks in Europe that if they wanted to, they could bring to America. And they always say, well, we can't sell enough, chicken tax, yada, yada, yada. 110,000 units, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to you, Mitsubishi. I'm talking to you, Nissan. You know who you are.
Yeah, and the rest, even Toyota has, small vehicles elsewhere.
The Stout.
The Stout. Where's the Stout, Toyota?
Where's the Stout?
So that's the compact. Well, let's move on to the bigger boys.
The midsize.
Because, I'm going to scroll past. This has been the king, right?
Can I make a prediction?
Yes.
This is also not all that brilliant, but I'm going to say that the Tacoma outsold all of the competitors. The question is, what's number 2? So that's the hard one. And you wrote this up, so you know.
Yeah.
So really, it's a 3-way race, right? Between Nissan, Honda with the Ridgeline, the Colorado, actually 4-way race, and the Ranger.
Yeah.
So, that's
what
tough.
about the Gladiator?
And the Gladiator. So it's a
Yes.
5-way race.
Yes.
I don't think the Gladiator, I don't think the Ridgeline, and I don't think the Nissan are in it. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Colorado.
Okay.
I could be surprised, but I'm going to go with Colorado as number 2.
All right. So for the year 2022, drum roll, Tacoma sold 237,323 trucks, down 6%, dude.
Yeah, supply chain issues.
Partially, potentially. They moved a lot of their production to Mexico, actually, for United States sales.
It used to be built in San Antonio. They moved production of the Tundra, and now, of course,
The Sequoia is there.
of course, that meant that they had to move production. It was capacity constrained for the Tacoma down to Mexico.
Yeah, so that happened.
Hey, I got it right.
Yes, Colorado is number 2. So if you combine Colorado and Canyon together,
Yeah.
they combine to about 117,000. But even though, Tacoma almost 2-to-1 outsells them.
But that's pretty, well, these are 2 old trucks too, which is pretty impressive,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because there's a new Colorado coming very soon. And when I say soon, I mean like next month.
Yeah, very soon.
And then that's impressive too. I'm surprised the Gladiator sold 77,885 units. That's a lot.
Yeah, but here's something more telling, right?
Okay.
GM did really well. They went up 20.5% compared to previous year for 2021. And I think Zach and I were talking about this before the video, and we were thinking about fleet sales. Obviously, they don't explain everything, right, to us when they show these numbers. So we're thinking a lot of fleet sales helped. Colorado went up dramatically, which is good. Gladiator actually decreased. Could be constrained by production now.
Could be, yeah. I don't know. You can never extrapolate too much by driving by your local Jeep dealer. But it seems like their inventory certainly was down this year.
Remember when last year when we were at Johnson Auto Plaza, they had some Gladiators, but only with manuals. because the automatics were like in short supply.
Yeah, that's going to definitely make it harder to sell.
So,
And how about Nissan?
well, Nissan did really well, dude. Look at this. The Frontier, the updated truck, right, in this segment, went up 25.5% to 70. Look, it's knocking on the door of the Gladiator. So
Yeah, it's a good
up there.
truck. It's a
up
good
there.
truck. You know, it ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people, Andre. And this is also impressive. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, the Ford Ranger only sold 57,000 units, but this is built on the same chassis, as you know, that the Bronco is built on, and the factory is actually building Broncos and not Rangers. So it's pretty impressive. They sold this many. They're down almost 40%, but that's because, once again, they're building Broncos and not Rangers.
Yeah, it seems like they're definitely preferring the Bronco on that factory in Michigan.
And this number is also impressive.
Yeah.
You know, the Ridgeline now, and it's how many years has it been out in the current? I mean, it just refreshed
2021 was the refresh.
Yeah.
So almost 2 years have gone by.
Since the refresh.
Yeah.
And they're still selling 42,000 units.
And they're always very solid, consistent. Honda is always like a clock, just selling Ridgelines.
This is why I'm always like this number here, right? 608,144 mid-sized trucks sold last year, down 4.4%. But this number is so big, so I'm always kind of. Me and Nathan just did a podcast. It's over at alltfl.com. I called it head scratchers, like why are companies doing certain things and not other things? And that's a head scratcher to me because why are companies introducing like sedans that have pickups as opposed to
just doubling down on
pickups. Yeah, trucks, it's kind of moved. So the world went from sedans to crossovers, and then the crossovers turned into big-ass SUVs, right? And then those turned into like overlandy SUVs and crossovers, and now that trend is kind of bleeding into pickup trucks.
As we see here.
Right.
Although I think this decrease has to do with constraints for components and materials.
I mean, look,
not demand. I think demand is there.
In a year of COVID, chip shortages, supply chain issues, to only be down 4.4% into a headwind like that. Imagine if they hadn't actually had to fight all those constraints.
Yeah. That would be so. Should we move on to full size?
Yeah, let's go to full size. I'm going to take a guess once again.
I'm
going to say Ford sold the most trucks.
Well, they have been for the last 46
That's what
million
they say.
years.
So I'm going with the obvious choice.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll be surprised.
So here, this is a little bit controversial too. So, bam. Ford sold 653,000 F-Series trucks.
I was wrong.
In 2022. They were down, I would say significantly, almost 10% down. But when you combine the Silverado and the Sierra together, they're on top.
So GM is back. You think that has to do with, like you said, fleet sales?
Possibly. So I think what the advantage of the GM trucks, they have multiple plants. Ford has 2 plants where they're building, the Super Duty, and the F-150 has 2 plants.
And we should talk about that. This number combines both full-size trucks, half-tons, and three-quarter-ton trucks.
Yeah, so GM breaks down their heavy-duty sales separately, but Ford and Ram do not. So for us to be fair,
we have to show both.
Yeah.
So this isn't F-150s. This is F-250s, F-350s, also F-450s, all thrown in together. Same with Chevy. How did Ram do?
Ouch. Ram is down 17.8%. There was a point in time where Ram heavy duty and full size trucks outsold Silverado, but now it's not the case. So they fell down.
So Ram's back in number 3.
Yeah, and I don't know what has to do with this. Maybe once again shortages.
Okay.
GMC Sierra is not doing too badly, only down 3%. By the way, what's not shown in this, what's hidden in this number, their heavy duties were killing it. The light-duty trucks were not selling very well, but their heavy-duty Sierras are just really strong.
And if you guys want to look at this, take a deep dive into it, head over to All TFL where it's prominently displayed. Now, what's going on with the Tundra, Andre? Brand new truck, it should be doing well.
Yeah, it did. Look, it climbed 15% over the previous year to 94,000. That's still not the highest year for the Tundra. I think there were years in the past where they sold about 110,000 trucks. But they're still climbing. So I think the Tundra still has legs.
So you think they're happy with a 15.2% increase going from the old truck to the new truck?
I would say so for now.
Okay.
I would say so. I think they can do better. Look at this. Ford broke out the number of Lightnings
15,000. Wow.
Yeah. Remember, we bought ours in June,
Yeah.
and they started selling in May, so it's not a full year of production. But remember, they had like 150,000 reservations, and they only delivered 10%.
They announced that they increased the capacity of the plant maybe 6 months ago, but this number does not reflect that by any means, because they're saying they increased it by another, I think they said, 50,000 units or something like that.
I think they're still ramping up. I mean, this number is still kind of low. But look, that number of Lightnings is almost the same as this, the Titan.
Ooh,
and that's
yeah.
a head scratcher.
And they don't break out the XD from the regular Titan.
No.
40, down 45%.
I'm sorry to say, Nissan is just...
So last year there was a rumor about this time that they're going to stop selling the Titan.
and they stopped sale of it in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they did stop selling. So you think they're gonna keep bleeding, or you think they're gonna keep cut the losses and just concentrate on the?
So far in 23, the Titan still exists.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next year in 24, I don't know, dude. But I don't know how to help Nissan here. Obviously, we like their truck. It's a pretty solid V8 truck.
That's another one of those head scratchers, right? I don't understand why the Titan isn't selling better. They refreshed it. The old Titan was just a good, honest truck, and then they made it competitive with the rest of the world. But somehow they just can't get any oxygen. I think Chevy, Ford, and Ram suck all the air out of the room, and people don't think of the Titan, even though it's a good truck. Now I see Hummer EV sales increased 854% year over year. You think Chevy's happy with? GM's happy with that?
Well, I don't know about them, but I'm not happy. There's a lot of people still who ordered Hummers who are still waiting for their Hummers.
I'm very happy with that, because that means ours is valuable.
We have one of these.
We have one of those, yeah.
That's a really rare vehicle.
I know, it is a really rare vehicle.
And overall for the segment, all full-size and heavy-duty trucks in the United States, almost 2 million sales and down 8.5%, which is kind of a bummer. But still, I think into the headwind, like you said, it's okay.
I remember reading that Toyota dropped from the #1 sales leader last year.
For 22?
Yeah, GM took over, and that we're, I think, if I remember right, about 13.7 million units this year altogether. So what we're seeing is that full-size trucks account for 2 million of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So still a very strong segment, and like you said, like you saw there, some of the electric trucks are also counting as part of that. So we're counting that. We don't have Rivian numbers. So if you're out wondering where's Rivian, they haven't published those numbers yet. So I asked them, and they said it's going to come later. So, but there you have it, winners and losers. And I think Ram needs to step up a little bit, maybe figure out some of their factory issues if they have any.
And speaking of Ram, Andre and I just got back from the Consumer Electronics Show,
Yes.
where we did a video on the new Ram Revolution that's blowing up, Andre. It was getting like 30,000 views an hour.
Woohoo!
There it is. And if you guys want to see that, head over to alltfl.com. And then best of all, we have a deep dive. So Andre actually got to interview Mike Koval, is he the Ram head? I think they changed their titles.
Head of brand.
Head of brand.
But
yeah.
I call him the North American CEO, which he is.
Which he is, yeah. And so we did a walk around. Andre and Nathan did a podcast, and we also interviewed Mike, and all that's coming tomorrow. LTFL.com.
On our podcast
channel. Our podcast. Or if you want to hear it today, not as a video, but listen to it, just head on over to Apple, and you can look for Talking Trucks, and you can get that deep dive. And the question that we maybe will answer another video is, they threw the kitchen sink at this. I mean, we're looking at suicide doors. Obviously, it's a concept. So maybe we do a video, if you guys are interested in kind of trying to figure out what of all the stuff that they put on this truck will actually survive into production.
And then, because they haven't really said exactly what it's going to be.
I would be very doubtful to see real suicide doors.
And also that kind of colored or translucent roof, right, that changes opacity.
Photochromatic.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to survive either.
Yeah, or the jump seats. Because there's actually 3 rows of seating in
Yeah.
the truck. A mid-gate, a pass-through frunk, barn door, tailgate, just a
name
lot.
it.
So maybe we'll do a show talking about what is going to survive and what isn't going to survive. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I think it was a very surprising year, Andre, and now you guys know, if you decided to take bets, which manufacturers are up and which manufacturers are down.
And we'll let you know, of course, what happens this year, because a lot of new trucks are coming, and this will change. I think the order might change.
See you next time. Ciao.